Okay, so looks like we're live on YouTube. We are having some technical difficulties with Facebook. So, for any of our viewers watching it, or if you view this YouTube later, it'll be on Facebook as well after we upload it.
All right.
But good morning, everyone. My name is Shataya Williams. I am the outreach coordinator with Moms in Motion. And today we are presenting another Voices in Motion, our live series, where we spotlight individuals and organizations who are making a difference in the lives of people with disabilities and their families. So today I am super excited to be joined by Allison Clark, who is a UAS training and flight technician. And joining her is Jason Taylor, the director of UAS programs with Sentinel Robotic Solutions. So, a little bit about Centennial. They partner with the Virginia Department of Aging and Rehabilitation Services, DARS, to create engaging hands-on learning experiences for students with disabilities. And their programs include interactive drone academies and drone day events designed to introduce students to the exciting world of drone technology. So I'm super excited to learn more about how you guys collaborate with DARS and learn about your pre-employment transition services. So thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much for having us, Shataya. Like you said, I'm Allison Clark, and I started with Sentinel Robotic Solutions last year. And then this is Jason Taylor. So he's actually, I'm going to let him start because really the whole program started with Jason. So kind of go from there.
Cool. Thank you, Allison. So I'm Jason Taylor, Director of UAS Programs for Sentinel Robotic Solutions. We're a woman-owned small business located in Eastern Shore, Virginia. We've been around since 2012. Right now, currently, I run all the programs for UAS training, UAS services like power line inspections, agricultural operations. We also have an engineering division. Long story short, I have to give immediate shout out to a very close partner of the company, Miss Robin Sexauer through DARS. Basically, what got us here today is back in around 2022, through our partnership with Eastern Shore Community College, we were doing a workforce development and career day. During that exciting event, I was approached by Miss Sexauer, and we initiated a discussion on how great it would be to get a class going for kids with disabilities, to get them introduced to careers in aerospace and with drones. And I have to say, between working with Robin, the leadership at ESEC, the leadership at DARS, from conversation to conception, it was less than 3 months, and we actually held our first Pre-ETS Academy, our 5-day class here on the Eastern Shore. We have had massive success here locally on the Eastern Shore with that program. It's really grown over the last several years. And then last year was very exciting for us because with continued partnership with DARS, we've now been allowed to take that program statewide. As Allison noted, the 1-day introduction class and the 5-day Pre-ETS Academy. And that's why we brought Allison on last year with her background in UAS, her background in education and teaching kids. She was a perfect fit. So we brought Allison on. And she kind of took over the program and just ran with it. So just this year alone, just the last 3 months, massive success statewide with these programs. And just, the ball's in her court. She has passion and is very energetic about this. We have support as a noted woman owned. Our CEO, Miss Erica Bell, is a big component of this behind the scenes of just supporting this program. Just going in day one with these kids on the 5-day academy. Every kid has a different disability and different learning curves. To the last day of class, when we see these kids just open up and conversate and fly the drones for their parents, it's just the program's close to our heart, and we're just excited to be talking to you guys today, and really excited with what Allison's going to do with the program moving forward from this year. So thank you for having us, and that's kind of a 5,000-foot view of the passion and background of the program.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So way to follow up after that nice speech. I just, for those of us who might not know, what are drones? We kind of think about, okay, are they robots? So I wanted to kind of just cover that. Drones aren't just toys. They're being used in all kinds of different job industries. So here's a few examples of drones, but they can get very big. And then, no, come in. So we actually have Erica here with us. She's our CEO. I just wanted to please pop by real quick, please.
So as I told you guys a few minutes ago, the massive support.
Good morning, Erica. Nice for you to join us.
Yes. So she's our CEO, and then she's, like we said, very behind the DARS program.
Yeah, it's a great.
So I don't know if you wanted to say anything about what you believe in the program, or just what you hope people get out of the resource of DARS and our programs.
Well, we just want everyone that does it to be really successful, and it's a lot of fun for them when they do the program, and everybody loves it. The kids love it, the parents love it. It's been really successful, and we just want them to have fun.
So this is like such a treat because she's
Erica's
like popping
very humble,
in.
but she's been behind the scenes working this very closely with the state, and we're really all of us as a team are very thankful for her leadership in the background, just really pushing and driving and getting us where we're at now.
Well, we just want everyone to be successful. So so that's what it's all about.
Thank you.
I just wanted you to pop in real quick. I mean, what an opportunity. Yeah, she's anyway, so sorry. Back to drones. So they come in all different sizes. They're being used for all different jobs. They're being used in all different job industries. So that's what's exciting is you may have a brief understanding of what it is. So I wanted to have us play a game. So with the pictures, and Shatea, I'm not sure if we can see what our viewers are commenting due to technical difficulties, but I'll test you at least to see.
No problem.
You guess right or wrong. So, oh gosh. Okay. So it should be a thumbs up if you think the photo is taken by a flying drone. So basically, we have a camera attached to the drone. The drone flies around at any height to take a photo. So thumbs up if you think it's taken by a drone, thumbs down if you think it's not taken by a drone.
Okay.
So let's see how you do.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up, yes. Great. And, this is just a nice big aerial shot. I actually took the shot for a real estate listing.
Nice.
When you think about real estate, you have to sell the whole part of land that a building is on, not just the building. So this is a great way to capture and help real estate agents sell what they're selling. All right, next picture. What do you think?
I'm going to say thumbs up.
Thumbs up, it's taken by a drone?
Yeah, only because how wide the frame is.
Oh, wow. No, thumbs down. It is actually just taken from a nice angle with a regular camera. But we're still pushing forward. I still got some more to test you with. So yeah, that was at our Girl Power event that we like to work with for electrical co-ops. Let's see about this one. Not sure. It could be either thumbs down. Yeah, so it's thumbs down. This was not taken by a drone, right? I mean, you were there, Jason.
Actually, I feel like it was taken by an iPhone.
It's actually this one here. When we did a class, we actually hovered the drone down in front of us and took the picture at low altitude.
Oh, so it was taken by a drone.
Right. Oh, wow.
I wasn't there for that one, so I just assumed.
It was kind of tricky. Bring it down low.
You just bring it down low, and you get everybody in the shot. And that was a trick question. All right, so what do we think about this one? It looks like a nice water park.
Yeah, I say drone.
Yep, taken by a drone, because I mean, how else would you fit all of that and get really high? If there's a high building, maybe you could do it, but then you got to worry about the window to get through.
Yeah.
And safety. When a drone, you're able to fly it up, you're safe on the ground. You just take the shot. So yeah, just another great example of why drones are great for taking aerial shots. Now, what do we think about this one?
I'm going to be in the middle.
Be in the middle. It could be either one. Like we might be just looking out from a high tower. Yeah. This one was actually same event, Girl Power. and they do a great job teaching the young ladies, but they did ask us to take a nice aerial view. So that is taken with a drone. Thumbs up.
Okay.
Okay, now this one, I'm not sure what you will pick. So let's see.
I'm going to say a drone took a picture of a drone. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to disappoint you. It was taken by a regular camera on the ground looking up at the drone. But it's just all about how you angle it, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I wanted to see how you did, but you did great.
Thank you. I got some of them right.
Exactly. Okay, so I think we kind of went over Jason's story already. Was there anything that you like didn't cover, like, you know, any student that you would like to kind of highlight, or any kind of experience?
We've had a lot of successful students over the years.
Yeah.
You know, my background, just kind of give a 5,000 foot view, is I started basically recreational model airplanes for fun back in the early 90s as a teenager. I actually became a career firefighter back in 2000 and early 2000s sometime. So I was a career firefighter, had planned on retiring as a firefighter with the local county. Sentinel Robotics, who we're working for now, actually reached out to me back in 2017. I was dispatching on my day off from the county. I was dispatching part-time at the 911 center. My phone rung. It was the chief engineer, Chase Riley. He's like, "Hi, I'm looking for a pilot to fly a upcoming mission. Do you know anyone that knows how to fly fixed wing airplanes? You know, smaller models?" I was like, "Oh, of course, I'd love to help you." Obviously, my first question was back then was, "You're going to pay me?" Something I've done as a passion for many, many years. So I showed up at SRS as a kind of a contractor on my days off in 2017, mid-year, and never left. So actually retired from the fire service, come on SRS initially as a flight technician. Have flown drones from small group 1 to small drones like we fly in DARS class up to you know, up to group 3, which is over 1,000-pound systems around the country. As I said earlier, we do 107 training around the United States. We do power line inspection around the United States. So over the years, I've just grown up through the company. Now as director of UAS programs, run all our operational and inspection and training divisions. So excited to be here, and really excited to have Allison on board now with us.
Yeah, and I did have a video of the bigger drones that you might see. So there's a drone that we use for agricultural spraying. And then if we can just play that short video real quick so everybody can see, this is what a drone is for agriculture. So it's spraying the fields. So Jason, you were the one operating this. Where was this?
So this is here locally on the shore, local farmer's field. Precision, safe agricultural spraying has become a huge thing nationwide, and is growing actually around the world, but really United States. This year is one of our agricultural DJI systems. We carry about 10.5 gallons of liquid per flight. We can spray about 200 gallons or 200 acres per day with this system. Obviously, we'll never replace crop dusters, but for those slower, lower solar applications, smaller environments, the ag drones have really, you know, taken off. And
yeah, and it's safer too. Like you think about a crop duster flying, some of the chemicals or, you know, whatever you're spraying comes back up into the cockpit. Where, like, you know, your remote controller, you know, standing far away.
And let's be honest, God, you know, with drones, it's not if they crash, it's when they crash. But obviously, if this system here was a crash out middle of the field, other than being upset or hurt feelings and some repairs, we're good to go. Where in manned aviation, obviously, if there's a mishap, we understand the consequences. So just you know, one division. You know, we use obviously here locally, you know, the agricultural drones to spray. We use smaller drones for power line inspections. We inspect thousands of poles a month in some cases for local co-ops.
So that's been fun.
If we sit here and discuss what can be done with drone systems, you know, the sky's the limit.
And I love talking about that in the classes. So we'll go ahead and kind of go over briefly my story, and then we'll kind of get into the programs we offer through DARS. So as Jason said, I was brought on last year to really grow the program. My background with education, with substitute teaching, with special needs. I'm kind of just glad that I'm able to use that with flying drones, because you just never know like how you're going to combine your different interests. So for me, it was, I remember the first time I met a drone pilot right out of high school. For me, I was going into the film industry and wanting to make movies and be on the crew side of things. And I remember meeting a drone pilot who had to take an aerial video of somebody jogging down the street for their movie. And I remember thinking, wow, this is so cool. This looks too hard. I'm never going to do this. And here I am years later doing it and just kind of kicking myself, like, why did I box myself in like that? And I've been seeing that with students. So I do want to share that, like meeting the different students, there is that mental challenge of not believing in yourself. And I met a young lady not too long ago for just a drone day event. We introduced them to the drones, there's a lot of different careers you can explore, and this is exciting, right? And she's very excited, enthusiastic. She's already wearing her ROTC uniform. So we already know she's interested in the Air Force and military. And she's working on the flight simulator with our fixed aircraft flight simulator, and she's doing pretty well. And I'm sitting there and she's like, yeah, this is fun. But I don't think I'm going to be a pilot. And I just said, oh, why not? And she said, because I'm not smart enough. And I kind of really related to that, because I remember being that age and just kind of thinking, yeah, I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to do that. So I'm just not going to try. So it's definitely close to my heart to teach and tell these kids, like, don't box yourself in. You can, learn this system. It's really just about being new at it instead of, oh, I'm bad at it. Well, of course you're bad at it because you're learning. So you're new at it. And that's like one of the biggest obstacles to overcome. So the biggest step with this for us to come to a school is we have to work through the DARS counselor assigned there. So if anyone listening right now, they're like, yeah, we really want you to come to our school. Well, the first step is, are you enrolled in DARS? So is the student enrolled in DARS? We are approved to help students age 14 to 21 in the pre-ed services. And the DARS counselor is there to help with so many aspects of job readiness, workplace readiness, planning your career for after high school. So they're there to help you. If you have not met your DARS counselor yet, I would go ahead and look up who your DARS counselor is, call them, arrange a meeting with them, make sure that you are signed up through DARS. So that's the first part of it. Sentinel Robotic Solutions, we then work with that DARS counselor to figure out, okay, how many drones are we bringing, and then what program are we doing? And then it's great to do a drone day, because we figure out if the students are interested, or if they're like, maybe this flying part isn't for me, but maybe I'm interested in something else related to the aerospace industry. So yeah, we value how much the industry is being changed and improved from unmanned aircraft. So we see the value of training the upcoming workforce in this profession. And this is a picture from a recent drone day event. So I just wanted to explain.
And just kind of real quick,
yeah,
Allison,
please, yeah.
now, granted, we are flying drones and the kids are having a good time learning. But we don't this isn't to become just a let's fly drones for a week and have fun in class.
Right.
Bring these kids, tell them that they can, that are capable of doing this. There's options to get their license. Working with these kids, flying drones may not be for them, but introducing them, that's why we classify this class as, careers in aerospace, not just drone academy. And throughout especially the week-long 5-day class, granted they're flying drones and they're flying sims, but we bring in the industry experts to kind of talk about the background. We give these kids information on engineering where you'd like drones. Okay, maybe you don't have the ability to actually fly a drone. That's fine. But 3D printing, computer programming, visual observers. We've had multiple students come in over the years from the program here locally to where, they may not have been capable of actually flying a drone, but we bring them out in the field. They can speak and they can see, and most of these kids are actually smarter than I am in most cases.
Very attentive.
So we're having them go out and assist us as visual observers. One of the biggest FAA regulations is maintain line of sight with a drone. So now we bring these kids out in the field with us, and they watch the drone and communicate with us and saying, yep, I can still see it. The drone's safe. So again, just kind of throw it in there. It's not just, we center around, we are a drone company, so we center around drones. Really just introduce all of the options available. We're developing a local program with a college where actually a degree in UAS. And drones is a small part of that, but it just opens up the gateway for so many more opportunities that's still drone related, but not necessarily just flying a drone around.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. Yeah. So thanks. All right. So when we come to a school, we start with flight simulators and drones that are linked to controllers, and most of these kids already know the sticks from playing with the PS4 controller, video games. A lot of kids, I'll say, hey, have you seen this before? And they're like, yeah, I play that for video games. So it's perfect. And yeah, like you said, answering the question, what do I want to do after high school? So maybe it isn't flying a drone, but it gets them thinking about, I could get a job making money. And, we cover so many job industries that they're like, oh, okay, I might want to do construction and maybe not fly a drone and do the mapping for construction, but maybe I want to work with my hands. So that's a good benefit from it. And yeah, we do a lot of career exploration. So I pointed out some different roles. We have visual observer, we have survey drone operator. These are actually job positions that you could search to see what job postings come up. I've been seeing quite a bit of different roles popping up lately, and I don't think they're going away anytime soon. Like, this industry is growing. So we have, for people who are more into the arts and creating and, self-expression, you can get started how I did, being a media production assistant, helping on movie sets, maybe helping with editing drone footage, maybe helping with flying, whatever you feel comfortable with. One thing that I really have discovered, and Jason has been lucky enough to see a drone show in person, but I have not yet. I've only seen videos. But one thing is a drone show animator. So there's, a lot of different entertainment events where they do fireworks. But now we're starting to see drone shows pop up where instead of using fireworks, they're using hundreds of different drones flying in the sky with different lights to create different pictures, designs. So we have a video to show you real quick. And then, you can see that it looks like a 3D image, but it's actually drones flying in the sky and moving according to programming so that they don't crash into each other, that it's very safe. And it creates something just incredible. There's some shows that will incorporate fireworks with the drones. So I can't wait to see which one I get to see in person. This is just,
Are all of these drones controlled by a remote controller? One big system?
And that's the great thing is for students that have interest in IT or computer programming, these drones are not manually flown. All these drones are put out in a field, synchronized with GPS, and no one is actually flying a drone. So these drones are all hooked to basically a large network. They're all using GPS guidance. So the operator of these systems is actually just programming the computer and hitting start, and everything's done autonomously through the computer system, not actually manually controlled.
Wow, look at technology.
I know. Yeah. We are
Very
in
nice.
the future, flying robots. It's now. And we're making art with it. And it's a job that you can have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see one in person. And yes, it is just one job that you can explore. Maybe you're not artsy, maybe you're more into just the technical sides of things, and you're more into mapping and whatever your mindset is. There's different roles. It just depends on what you want to get into. So there's making sure the rules are safe, making sure people understand how to operate, so you write in the instructional materials. Being a data analyst or a GIS specialist, you're basically taking all the aerial images that a drone takes, all the pictures like we saw earlier, but it's more planned out. The drone pilot knows they need to take a picture of each spot, and then the GIS specialist is actually stitching together all those photos to create a detailed map. And it's another role that you can search online, and people are hiring for this position. So Drone Day is definitely a great way to start. And then we do have the week-long 5-day drone academies. And it's all through DARS. So if you're not enrolled in DARS, I highly recommend starting with enrolling in DARS for all the resources, not just for our programs. And then, I love traveling. We're traveling all over Virginia. And then, it's me coming in with all the equipment. I have my Part 107 license as a remote pilot. So I'm operating under that license and making sure everybody's safe. We bring the controllers and drones that are safe to use, and the kids have a great time, but it is about, career exploration and how do I want to proceed with, do I want to stay at home for the rest of my life? No, I want to get out. And how do I want to get out? We open their eyes.
And one thing I will add to that, one thing we have done, which I think has really been a big success with the class, is obviously, kids, their background, their parents, their home environment. Some kids are worried about going out on their own in some cases to these classes. So one thing we have done from day one is for our 5-day academy, we actually promote and, request brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, attend with your class. You don't have any classes by the end of the week. The students are competing against the parents flying the drones around. So it just really opens up to, some parents may be worried, I don't want my kid, the kid going to class by herself. So, we offer that, if you want to attend and watch and answer questions. I've had parents sit in with their students to take the class, and then 2 months later, the parents now taking my advanced licensing class. Just really, this is all about any way we can accommodate and make this work and be a success for the students and for the family and, the future, opportunities that these students have. That's where our heart and soul is really at.
Yeah. And I think that's very nice because we have a lot of the families on the waivers, they either have, they have a personal care attendant, and some people also have like a companion attendant. So that individual can also join them. So that's nice. I like that you guys do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it definitely helps the support system.
The only downside is if the parents attend, is we make the parents fly at some point. So the parents have to be able to fly. By the end of the week, the parent has to be able to fly the drone around as well.
Yeah.
It's good. It's definitely a shared experience. So. And with the 5-day drone academy, what I love is that we teach them. We have them get their trust certificate so they know the rules and they're able to fly recreationally. But at the very end, we do that graduation ceremony, and they show off their skills, and they are sent home with their very own drone. So they have the equipment to keep doing it.
Okay. So I do have a question.
Yeah.
So for students with disabilities who may be trying drones for the first time, what kind of adaptive or supportive training methods or tools do you guys use to help their experience be more accessible?
Yeah, you want to answer it first? Yeah.
So typically what we do with the class is every class is different, every child's different. That's why one thing we include, because let's be honest, some of these kids, and myself, flying drones, I get upset when I crash.
Yes.
So as the kids come in, one thing we do is we don't want a kid getting upset, or down because I tried the first time I crashed. This isn't for me.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why we introduced the actual flight simulators in class.
Yeah.
And we teach the kids, hey, you crash, push the red button, start all over again.
Yeah.
So day one is pretty much, with Allison, her assistant, depending on the size of the class, we may add 2, 3, or 4 assistants. Typically we do limit the class student count. It's not because we can't teach a big class. We've decided that if say a particular agency has 15 DAR students for that area, we'll actually split that up and do 2 or 3 separate days with smaller groups. And what we found by doing it in smaller groups, it ensures more hands-on to answer your question, more hands-on experience for the kids independently versus just a large group trying to get a chance to actually fly.
Yeah.
And so, everyone that comes and assists with the class are drone operators,
license. Yeah.
So we make sure that they're not just all the instructors are drone operators. So it really gives a chance one-on-one with each student, each rotation to, hey, this is how it works. It's going to crash. We just retired our first fleet of 15 drones last week because they have been through the ringer over the last couple of years.
Yes.
But with the combination of flight simulator, the combination of hands-on experience, it teaches them to get better. And that's why another thing we've incorporated well is the actual drone that we use for the 5-day class and for the introduction is the exact same drone the students actually get to carry home.
Yeah.
So
they
get to crash and experiment with the drone during the week, and then once they're feeling more confident by the end of the week, now they have the same exact model to take home brand new to really to improve their conditions.
Yeah.
And we've adapted. Initially the Tello systems that we use, like you see in the picture, was flown by a tablet. We initially introduced and changed that over and linked with actual handheld PlayStation style controller. There are different types of RC controllers out there, but when you put a controller that's very similar to a PlayStation or Xbox controller in their hands, they have that familiarity.
Yeah.
So we actually enjoy the kids to come in with no experience. We enjoy teaching them as much as they enjoy learning. So each kid gets that one-on-one time throughout the week to be able to get their skills up and learn how to fly better.
Yeah, and it just depends on the mindset because, I've had cerebral palsy be the disability, and I can only use one hand. Okay, well, I've had some very competent students where, yes, they only have one hand. We figured out, if we just put the controller upside down, they're able to manipulate the controls just fine. He's able to land wherever he wants just as competently as anyone else, and so it is about the mindset and the drive to want to do it. And then we figure out, okay, how are we going to make this work? Whether it's turning the controller upside down or just giving them more time to crash before they realize, this is what this stick does. So we definitely are trying to make it as adaptive as possible for each student. And then with that in mind, I do try to talk with the families before the actual program. And it's very beneficial because a lot of the families are like, I don't even know where it's safe to fly and where it's not safe to fly outside. And I know my son is going to hyperfixate on this after the program. So can you help me know where it's safe and not safe? And so I answer questions like that. And then I just kind of reiterate, yes, there are places where it's legal to fly and places like, around the White House, other areas where there's no fly zones. And you have to be careful no matter if you're just flying for fun or flying for a job. So we do try to educate everybody involved, and it's making for a safer world with drones.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I'm on the FAA safety team, and with all the education stuff I do at work. And you'd be surprised how many children or adults under the new FAA guidelines, you're actually required to have a certificate just to fly in your backyard for fun. And that's the FAA trust. is required. So that one thing we do as part of our 5-day academy is that's one thing that students walk away with is not just I've flown a drone, but that certificate they need to legally fly outside. They receive that in that week of class so they can go out. So between the certificate to legally fly, learn how to do registrations, we give them different apps and online resources to check airspace. So if you're visiting grandma or visiting friends for the weekend, pull your phone out, check, can I fly here or can I not? So again, a lot of fun stuff with the class, flying the drones, but it's also very educational on, how do I legally fly currently? What regulations do I follow? I get my certificate to fly legally. And okay, now I really want to do this in the future.
Yeah.
So it's fun, but we also, all the regulations and requirement certificates, we make sure that's included as part of that 5-day academy.
And yeah, we're not just talking from our teaching experience, but we have taught many different students in different industries, especially Jason, since he's been here longer. But yeah, I just wanted to point out, law enforcement, NASA, so many different industries are using unmanned aircraft. So that's just part of our experience over the past 7 years. And then, we are currently servicing different businesses. So we help with electrical co-ops, we help with military security and counter UAS, which is a whole industry in itself because it's about stopping drones from flying and security and making sure drones aren't hacked. So that's a whole nother field. And then there's, 3D mapping, there's site surveys. We have been very fortunate in the different amounts of jobs we've had and just we're able to pull from all of that experience when we teach. So I guess what I wanted to talk about is the Part 107 license, because that's the next step after the drone day, the drone academy, getting a license just like Jason and that's the Part 107 license. So that's the next step. And it's a license that doesn't expire. So once you get it, you're able to keep it with you. Maybe you have a dream job pop up 5 years from now and you remember, oh yeah, I have the Part 107 license. You go online, take the recurrent test, it's free. And then it shows that you are current. You're able to apply for your dream job and get that dream job. So it's definitely something that is valuable and will be with you for the rest of your career, whatever that looks like. So I do encourage that. And then if anyone has questions, feel free to reach out to us. I'm happy to answer questions and then, we'll go from there.
I will add one exciting thing over the years that really has pushed us is I'll give a quick viewpoint of the license. So basically, the FAA Part 107 license came out in 2016. That's when you can legally go take a course, take an online test, and get your remote pilot certificate. Obviously, drones were becoming popular back then, and the whole world rushed to get their license. And I'll be honest with you, the market was flooded because everybody was taking pictures and doing real estate and making pretty videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we actually had about 2018, 2019, we actually had a downfall of popularity as far as just so many pilots and no work. Now, thankfully, with most industry partners we work with and worldwide is now pretty much all industry is utilizing drones. So that's a great thing. But we teach the kids in class is, you may have never dreamed of being a lineman, but guess what? Now the co-ops are hiring drone pilots. You may never have thought work for law enforcement, but law enforcement's hiring drone pilots, insurance agents, you might not be a roofer, but guess what? Roofers now using drones to look at roofs to see what damage there is. So now in the last couple of years, it's just been that big industry push where job opportunities, careers that may not have been available without certain skill sets are now utilizing drones. So it just opens up so many avenues and routes for students to have that career opportunity.
Well said. Notes.
I'm sorry, I'm passionate about it.
Yes. I would like to kind of end with that. Really, do you have any questions for us, Shatea, or anything you're thinking about?
Let's see. I know earlier in your presentation you touched on DARS counselors.
Yes.
So, do all schools have DARS counselors for the students to connect with?
Yes, that's what I understand, is that every public high school has a DARS counselor that takes on the caseload of each student. Sometimes the intake, they have to come to the school to do the intake. So maybe, you've just moved to the area and your student is not enrolled in DARS. So, it's something where you have to go enroll, but I wouldn't let that stop you.
Yeah. And I will say, kind of, maybe I shouldn't, but kind of prop Allison a little bit. If there are any DARS counselors listening that are interested in bringing this to their county, state, anywhere in Virginia, it's great to have these in major municipality areas, major cities. My vision from the conception of this DARS program was, once we went statewide, is the little high school back in some corner of Virginia that maybe only has 3 or 4 students.
Yeah.
Every corner of Virginia we want to touch with this, and kind of to give credit where credit's due. If you're a DARS counselor and you're interested in this program, Allison is 100% behind the scenes working and supporting. So if you're interested, and you reach out to Allison, she's going to work alongside you and with you to help you with any of that process possible. She's going to smile, but she works behind the scenes and makes a lot of phone calls to parents and for the counselors, and does paperwork immediately. So, if you're a counselor not familiar with these programs and are interested, reach out, and she's going to, you're going to hold each other's hand.
You're not bad at it.
And
you're new at it, and we're going to do it.
Help get this together.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate Moms in Motion. I've been following you guys for a while, so this is just a great opportunity, and I really appreciate it. So
awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Take care.